What is mental block? When there's something you want to do but just can't seem to get over that hump to master it, whether that's W keying, free building, quad edits, placing in tournaments, whatever you can't do but want to do. Because in my experience, all you need is a little spark to open a new cognitive path in your brain to get it done. Think about when you first hopped on a bike. You sucked, went slow, and wobbled around. But when someone told you it's easier if you pick up some speed, then something clicked in your brain and you got it down. That's the goal of this video today. So tip number 1, go about whatever you're stuck on differently. Don't go slow and wobbly, try going fast or whatever that equivalent is. I'll give each tip as a theoretical suggestion that can apply to everyone, whether it's edits, competitive, etc. But then I'll relate it back to a specific mental block I had up until recently, which was I couldn't W key for the life of me and get these high kill games, and how I got around that. So if you're stuck on something, do it differently. When trying to solve my W keying problem, I kept on finding people saying, just do it, just go into a game and try it. Well, this isn't f***ing Nike. The definition of insanity is trying something again and again and expecting it to change. So that's where this tip comes into play. Try it differently. If you keep dying in competitive, instead of working on your mechanics a bunch, start to work on your planning, your rotations, so you don't have to rely on high mechanics. For me, like I said, my mental block was I couldn't figure out how to get high kill games. I thought W keying and confidence were synonymous. I would push people as fast as I could, hoping to get a material refresh from them. I'd try to phase into their box as soon as I could, take 50-50s because that's what I thought confidence was. And in the end, I would get a couple kills, but I wasn't making it to end games and pulling high kill lobbies like the pros I watched did. Then I switched how I was going about it. I'll explain how I knew what to switch in tip 2, but first let me tell you what I did change. I learned that good offense in Fortnite isn't about applying pressure, phasing, or even getting damage. It's about the preparation for each attack. Offense in Fortnite can turn into defense in a second if you're playing right, but I thought W keying meant no defense at all. Let's force 50-50s. This meant I didn't have preparation if it didn't work out. I didn't have an escape route or extra boxes to fall back into. It was all or nothing. If we imagine 50-50s, it's like a short segment. At each end, there is a polarizing opposite. Get a kill or back to the lobby. Whereas if you play Fortnite right, your game should look more like a line rather than a segment. You can be heavily on defense for minutes and minutes on end and finally get that kill, or you can be pressuring for minutes on end. And on a line, rather than a segment, you can go back and forth. So I learned preparation. This meant putting cones under my feet so I didn't get pieced. This meant creating extra boxes to have space. This meant planning escape routes by knowing which walls are mine. Building in hard mats so I don't get my walls taken. All of these things are about preparation so your offense and your W keying goes well. So apply this idea of trying it differently to whatever you're trying to figure out. Tip number 2, figure out what you do need to change. Like I said for the last tip, you need to go about whatever you're doing differently. So to do that, you need to know what different is. Many things could work for finding this out, but the one that ignited that new neural path in my brain was by playing with people better than me. This was so vital to me because I was put in very high skill scenarios to learn, but instead of getting shit on, like solos, I had a safety blanket of a duo that could carry when he needed to. Playing with a duo that's better than you is good because you can see what they do in a situation that's different from what you would have done. This is how I learned that I was significantly lacking in preparation for fights. In a game we got shot at and I made a box and was ready to go for a peek already. But my duo during this time made 4 to 5 boxes of space to play out of, all in hard mats. So I looked at him and joined it. The duo pushing us wasn't able to apply as much pressure onto multiple boxes because they didn't know which one to push. And then they had to cover their angles a lot more because they didn't know where we'd peek from next. This was the type of thing I didn't even think about. These games where we had high preparation almost felt more like defense, but those were the games where we got the most kills. So then saying you're trying to learn how to free build better, that's your mental block. Play with someone better than you, and you'll find different retakes you didn't know about, different phase tricks, and so much more, just by being in the same lobby as them. And another way to learn new techniques is also by watching pros, which leads me to point 3. Learn higher skill plays by pros. Watch what they're doing and try to replicate it, but don't try to copy them verbatim. When you see a pro do something cool, it's because they are highly adaptable to any situation they're in, and they make it work. If you're trying to copy them exactly, then you must look for a specific condition that they were in, and your cool move will have rigid boundaries because you want to make it exact instead of having high adaptability like it was when the pro first performed it. So just watch the pros and have the general idea of something you want to do. When you take what the pros do and add to it or change it, you become a better player rather than a knockoff replica. So don't hold yourself to rigid guidelines, and you can probably do some pretty cool things. For me, I remember watching Polarized and seeing him wait for someone to edit a cone, then shooting through it and jumping in. I thought this was really cool and kept it in mind, but I wasn't searching for people in cones and just waiting for them to edit. That would have taken too much time for not enough payoff. But I did remember that general idea and knew that the sniper did high building damage, so instead I found players whose wall I could get weak and then breach with the sniper. It wasn't exactly what Polarized was doing, but it was the general idea which helped me clean up fights fast and solve my W keying problem. And on this topic, I've never seen anyone in the Fortnite scene discuss mental block as a topic or a problem, so I don't know if this is relatable, but I think it does keep a lot of people stagnant from improving. And bonus tip, if you are someone whose mental block comes from competitive, especially those solo cash cups, then I got like 6 or 7 more tips for you. I used to get slammed playing those, but here's what I learned that turned my cash cups around. That video is right here. Thank you so much for watching. My name is reidtheninja. Use code reidtheninja. And on that note, I'm signing off.